It's easy to disappear in the mountains of Wakayama. For centuries, it served as a hiding place for princes who ran afoul of palace intrigue, or soldiers who found themselves on the wrong side of a war. Wakayama is close enough to be easily reached from the historical center of Japan, yet remote enough that it serves as an excellent hiding place. The Genpei War, a civil war between Japan's two most powerful clans, began in 1180 with the Battle of Uji, near Kyoto. The Taida clan won that first battle, and the Minamoto clan commander Yorimasa committed suicide. But allegedly, he had a secret son who nobody knew about, and that son fled to the south and changed his last name to Ryujin. The Ryujins proved themselves loyal allies of the regime, and were rewarded with the right to build a castle atop this hill. I went looking for its foundations. A pink ribbon. This is definitely it. Everybody knows a pink ribbon means a castle. Now we're going down. Maybe this is it? Oosh. Down then up. That's a good sign, I think. You know what? Let's just say this is it. I'm glad this guy's house got burned down. It's probably out there somewhere. This part of the story, by the way, is verified history. It's only the origin of the Ryujins as a secret descendant of a defeated hero, which is an obvious fiction. The Taida clan won their opening bout, but they would go on to lose the war, and surviving remnants of the clan went to ground. There are several villages all over Japan which claim to be descended from these hidden Taidas, and most of these claims are probably bullshit, but I will present the story in good faith. According to legend, some Taida refugees fled deep into the forests of Kumano, and built a small community in a hollow. Which is not what you're seeing, by the way. I tried to go to the actual site, but the road there has been closed for years. This is a nearby place that I've picked because it's pretty. Anyway, miraculously, a waterfall burst forth, again, not this waterfall, providing the community with fresh water. The god residing in the waterfall despised umeboshi, and so the Taidas could cause a rainstorm simply by tossing ume pits into the waterfall. Not this waterfall. The Taidas, apparently, successfully integrated into their new community, but the Ryujin family from earlier was not so lucky. 400 years after the first Ryujin built his castle, his descendants backed the losers of a different war, and their ancestral home was attacked and destroyed. I have no idea how they found it. The Ryujins were caught up in the chaos of Japan's Warring States period, when powerful warlords struggled to unify the country. And they weren't the only such family. When Toyotomi Hideyoshi invaded the region in 1585, he defeated the Yamamoto family of modern-day Kamitonda. The toppled lords were targeted by assassination until only one son remained, Inaba. Inaba gathered the last surviving vassals, and together they hid deep in the mountains near present-day Susami. The Yamamotos remain in Susami to this day. One was the first mayor of the town, another was a vice admiral during World War II, and yet another was once president of Mitsui Bank. Presumably the assassins have given up by now. The Yamamotos were caught in the conflict that would eventually lead to 2 centuries of Tokugawa rule. Our next fugitives found themselves embroiled in the dispute that would eventually topple the Tokugawa government. In 1863, shortly before the Meiji Restoration would put the emperor back in charge of the country, there was a minor uprising against the Tokugawa shogunate. Several nobles adopted the motto Son no Joi, revere the emperor, expel the barbarians. The barbarians being foreigners in Japan. These nobles feared the shogunate was powerless against growing foreign influence in Japan. Their rebellion was crushed swiftly and brutally, but the uprising demonstrated the growing incompetence of the Tokugawa government, paving the way for the return to imperial rule. Following their unsuccessful insurrection, 8 survivors of the conspiracy sought shelter in, of course, Wakayama. But they didn't find much sympathy with the townsfolk, who imprisoned them in this granary, until they could be remanded to the authorities. One of them took the time to write a poem in his own blood on one of the pillars. Only the gods and my compatriots understand how devoted I am to the emperor. Coincidentally, this granary is not far from where an American B-52 bomber crashed during World War II. I discussed this incident in a previous video. The survivors of the crash also tried to disappear into the forests, but they were unfamiliar with the terrain and quickly apprehended. These are just the hidden people that we know about, the ones who either revealed themselves or got caught. Who knows how many other peoples have secreted themselves in these mountains over the centuries? Wakayama is a dense kind of rural, with countless forest roads and hidden streams winding between the mountain peaks. Anyone could be out there.